Mike and Lisa Carter and their family of 5 are receiving over $140,000 a year in subsidies. Mike is a convicted felon. Lisa wrestles with mental illness. Mike dropped out of school in high school. His wife dropped out in 6th grade. Neither have an education. They don't have any marketable skills. They don't have a job, and they certainly don't have a home. And yet they're still receiving over $140,000 a year in subsidies. They are not living the American dream. Their story is not unique in the United States, and in fact, we're seeing it every day in Oklahoma City. My name is Adam Jones, and growing up in Central Florida, my family started a boarding school for teenage boys. In other words, I grew up with gang kids from South Florida. Super exciting. Watching their personal transformation in my teenage years locked me in early, wanting to invest my life in helping other people, which is what I'm privileged to do at City Rescue Mission. City Rescue was founded in 1960, and we serve nearly 4,000 unique individuals every year. And that's a daunting task and requires so many volunteers. Like thousands of volunteers come and help us through that every year. So how do we do it? How do we move people from instability into stability? Classic solution is to provide things. We provide more money, we provide more food, we provide more kind of enter in the little variable, and we think that if we offer more things that the poverty will naturally disappear. And a couple of things I've noticed in all of my time is that the people that are not in poverty, generally they view poverty as a result of being lazy. And those that are in poverty view their poverty as a death sentence. In other words, they feel hopeless or that there's no way out. In all my time, I've never met a single person who's in a poverty situation that said, hey man, I'm glad to be here. This is what I've always wished for. An example of that is taking a young child who's experiencing crisis at home. In school, they may miss some of the foundational building blocks. As they get moved forward in education, they're really stuck with the decision to either look like a fool in front of their friends because they weren't able to capture some of those building blocks, or they can kind of reject that notion and act out and get sent to the principal's office in order to remove themselves from that horrible situation, because their peer group is the most important thing to them in their life at that time. But with a little bit of case management, coming together and filling out those building blocks, we could start to have big wins, right? I mean, they start to feel like, hey, I'm not an idiot. I can do better. I can do this. And then that cascades into really big wins. Adults are a lot the same way. So it's not enough just to provide a few things. We also have to provide a pathway to a new life. At City Rescue Mission, that path is called the Bridge to Life. And through the case-managed approach that we apply, we're able to sit down with our clients and quickly assess where they're at and move them forward. A beautiful way to view this is through a little activity we used to do as children, connect the dots activity. And you know, whenever you look at the activity, you know that it's going to make a picture at some point, but in order to make that picture, you need to start with dot 1 and then 2, 3, 4, and so on. That's logical. For us, the clients that we see, imagine the same picture, but without any numbers. Where do you start? You kind of have the sense that it's going to make a picture, but you don't know where to begin. With a case-managed approach, you can sit down and quickly define where step 1 is. And for many, that connect the dots may look a little different. For some, it may be they need access to education. They need a GED. They may need their driver's license reinstated, or they may need education, job training. And so through that process, we try to help them connect the dots. So the family I talked about earlier, Mike and Lisa Carter, and their 5 children, where are they today? You'll remember they were on $140,000 a year in subsidies. Today, they went through the Bridge to Life program. They successfully exited. Mike was able to get access to legal through our partnerships in the community. Lisa was able to access mental health. The kids were able to stay in school, and they entered into job training. They have a wonderful job. Their combined household income is around $78,000 a year. I think that's what it was. Let's see here. Yeah, $78,000 a year. A little slow on the slide there. I want to make sure I'm giving you accurate information. Combined household income of $78,000 a year. The beautiful part about this is that they are completely 100% off of subsidies. That's their own money, their own contribution to society, which is beautiful. One interesting thing, because they have now, we've been tracking their case study for 4 years to find out where they're at, and they're still working, they're still, families still together, and it's a wonderful, beautiful story. We noticed that there is a tremendous lack of affordable housing. And so that's one thing that City Rescue Mission is really excited about. This is actually a rendering of an 88-unit affordable home ownership project we're working on in a suburb of Oklahoma City that will be open in the next 12 months. So we're really excited about that. It's a scalable solution that actually neutralizes the livable wage across the United States. So we factored in what would having an asset, owning a home, look like for a single person with children owning a home at full-time minimum wage. And so we were able to develop something like this. Either way, we are confident that if we stand together, collaborate, partner, that we'll be able to walk with those in need to a place of self-sufficiency. Thanks for your time.